live.
Welcome to another session of Elsewhere. It has been literally 2 months since we played, so might take us a minute to get back into the groove, but thank you very much for joining us. With me, I have Chris playing Bellinor Tarathiel, Harry playing Giles Pippin Paddleopsicopoulos, Ryan playing Kieran Volk, Sam playing Eglantine Penrose, and Alex playing Gabriel Moonshadow. I can't believe I remembered everybody's name.
Yay!
So we're going to pick up real quick with a brief jump back in time and see what Gabriel got up to while the rest of the party was off investigating after the dance.
Okay.
So Flora has just run up to you and requested your assistance. She says there has been serious dark magic at play here, and she could use the perspective of another Grey Watchman.
And I basically, I'll be like, I look over at my compatriots and I'll be like, yeah, let's take a look.
Okay, we're coordinating our efforts with the Ravens for now. We're just checking off all the guests before they leave, but I want to go back up to the balcony and see if we can find anything else. I feel like there must be something we've missed, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think whatever's going on here, they'd slip out the front and come in through the front door.
I don't know how anyone could get away with summoning shadow men in the middle of a party, so they must have cast the actual spell beforehand and just sent the shadow men in on a cue.
Yeah, perhaps. Or perhaps they had already placed the portals or circles that would have brought the shadows in, like you said, ahead of time. Has to be someone who knows the place. Has to be someone who knows the family, has their trust here.
I mean, the Erdurchis, they have a lot of, and the Anarans, they have a lot of parties. People come and go all the time, and they have a lot of staff, but I can't think of anybody on staff who'd be powerful enough to summon shadow men.
Yeah, and I don't think many of these yokels are really any arch wizards themselves. As I said, I think it has to be, if they were able to manage to plan this, that means they had to have been here multiple times and had been able to, as I said, they have to have a full layout of this place. So I don't think it's just your standard party goer. I think it's someone close.
Well, they might not have necessarily needed the whole layout. They just need the entry hall and the actual ballroom. Especially if they summon the shadow men beforehand and just sent them in later. The question is how they get a signal out or cue them to come in. Unless they had a time picked out already, but anyone could have been anywhere. If those targets were pre-picked, then...
Perhaps telepathic communications. Powerful sorcerers are able to achieve such things. I can't see why they wouldn't be able to communicate like that with shadow men.
That's true. Which means it had to have been a guest or maybe a security officer.
Well, let's go take a look, and perhaps we'll find some evidence at the scene itself that'll help give us somewhat of an answer.
Yeah. So she leads you back up through a cluster of ravens and disgruntled party guests to the balcony, and starts poking around. Roll an intelligence check.
Oh boy, okay. D20, right?
Yep.
I've been playing so many different games lately. I just gotta ask. That is a 19.
Okay. Poking around. There are no summoning circles here, which lends itself to Flora's theory that these shadow men were summoned beforehand and just teleported in. That means they'd have to have someone on the ground who could see where they were going, because to summon someone somewhere from somewhere else, you have to see where you're sending them.
Okay. And I don't know, how much, what do I really know about shadow people? Is there certain things, to help me put together some conclusions here? Is there certain properties about them that I should be aware of, that I'd know of?
They are supernatural bounty hunters, known very well for their relentless, ruthless pursuit. Very little stops them, very little slows them down. Usually, once you've defeated them, they just come back stronger or with reinforcements.
Okay, and so are these like your standard bounty hunters, and they're just really powerful magical people who can turn themselves into shadow people, or are these like plainer bounty hunters, much like Juan Muertos a la Steam Spell?
They are closer to Juan Muertos. They are lost souls that have been corrupted and bound to the will of usually a necromancer or someone very powerful in death magic. And it takes a hell of a lot to summon a shadow man.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I've watched Game of Thrones.
I haven't, so.
Oh, there's like a summoning shadow people scene in the. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's very difficult, and they're frightening to be on the wrong side of.
Okay, so that actually does help a lot with. Thank you. So Gabriel's kind of looking, and yeah, they had to have been brought in prior to. Are they able to move through walls and all the? Flora, do you know if they can move like ghosts and specters?
They can. They can become intangible and invisible. I mean, they're shadows. They can come and go.
So they maybe weren't even summoned in here. They could have been summoned outside, sent into the manor from outside,
just
and they had a person
invisibly.
And perhaps they have a person on the inside that gave the signal. You said they can turn invisible, walk through walls. It's the ultimate stealth thing. You don't even need to sneak in. The shadow people can just get in. And it's dark outside, so you wouldn't see them.
That's true. I very much doubt someone wouldn't have noticed, because you remember from fighting them before, shadow men have a certain presence to them.
Like an aura of dread, yeah.
Yeah, they're frightening, and it gets cold, and they can't turn that off. So if they'd been just chilling, someone probably would have noticed something was weird.
See, but that's why I think they weren't. That's why I don't think they were just waiting inside. I think they were actually outside, waited for a signal, and then made their move. So I don't think they ever were summoned in here. I think whoever summoned them was actually on the outside or whatever. The shadows did not start here. They got a signal from somebody, probably telepathically.
But they all appeared at once in a circle and then snapped right out again.
As you said, they can just kind of do that stuff. They're wickedly powerful, and when you can bend vapor and clouds like that, there's no telling what they could do and how stealthy they truly could be.
That's true. I don't like this, Gabriel. Someone was planning this for a long time. This wasn't fluke or chance.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. This was definitely a coordinated effort by very powerful people who also had access to this party.
We have ravens checking over the guest list, seeing what they can find out, but everyone here has either the power or the money to hire someone powerful enough to summon shadow men.
I guess then it's time to start going through bank books and transactions and receipts.
She leans in a little close. My hands are a little bit bound as an official investigator, especially poking around people of such power in Salwani, considering...
Well, considering I'm on probation, I don't think anyone would think it's otherwise for me to do it. Maybe I'm going to make an appeal. I can definitely look into this.
Be careful, Gabriel. The people here, they have connections, and they will not hesitate to remove you.
Oh,
you're getting too close.
I am well aware of that one. First-hand experience.
She seems to debate something with herself for a moment. And then she reaches down her side and she pulls out her sword and offers it to you. And she says, I know technically you're not supposed to carry a watchman's blade anymore, but things are getting bad and I think you might need this.
So I kind of like deftly take it and like kind of just flourish it in the air. Nothing like, I'm not like like making attacks, but I'm just kind of lightly getting used to the weight of it. And as I do so, you kind of hear like this like singeing like as it swings, because I'm guessing it's an enchanted sword.
Yes. Yeah. It's it can deal elemental damage. So a good choice.
Sweet. So it like kind of makes this sound as if it's cutting through the wind itself, as I'm kind of not just a whoosh, but like a like that high pitched metal ting, as if something struck it with a hammer without the hammer strike. It's a really descriptive way to describe it, actually. Well, thank you, Flora. I know it's been quite some time since I've carried one of these blades. It's good to wield one again.
Probation or not, you're still one of us, and we look out for our own.
Yeah, and well, the people who locked me up, quite frankly, they're fuckers. And I was just reclaiming what was mine, Watcher blade or not, and they weren't so happy about that. So,
yeah. Listen, I'm gonna coordinate. Sorry, what?
No, go ahead. You're coordinating.
I'm gonna coordinate with the Ravens and the Artemis system more. Frankly, I'm not sure what more we can learn here if they were summoned from outside. So
yeah,
I'm going to start looking at the guests and probably do some investigations into those that are missing.
Yes. And Gabriel, if Flora lets him, he'll like kind of pull her close and like then make a very obvious, well, Flora, it's been absolutely lovely to see you. Great catching up. You know, I really hope this whole thing works out. I'm going to go rejoin my friends because I am so afraid of what just happened. And I'm the most incompetent person in our order. I mean, after all, never mind. So it was great seeing you. Bye-bye.
Bit ham-fisted, Gabriel, but sure. Yeah, bye, Gabriel. Thank you for your assistance.
Seriously, thank you for the sword again.
Oh, you're totally welcome. Just be careful, please.
Yeah, will do. You too.
Okay, bye.
And like, I'm just instantly tattered cloak, hood's going back up. I'm in work mode now. Just.
Okay. So do you head back to the manor to meet up with your friends?
I'm gonna go back to where we fought those shadows when we first got here. There's me remembering shit from a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It's the street outside the library, so.
Yeah, I'll make a quick detour that way, cause like, first we were ambushed by the shadow people, and then they show up at this party. So the wheels in Gabriel's head are starting to turn and think maybe whoever I can't think of. Of course, the one detail I can't think of, the actual target of the assassins. No, can't remember that. Gabriel's starting to think perhaps they weren't the target.
It was just you and a librarian when the shadow men showed up in the street. Although it's a busy street, could have been anyone.
No, I know. I'm thinking about the party though, because they grabbed someone and disappeared with them.
Yes, they grabbed Dora.
Yes.
Lilovati's mother.
Yeah.
Zaya, Cornelius Penrose, and Azalea Shada.
I'm kind of looking. Is there anything like left over from those shadows? With their like, I'm gonna kind of like do a thorough, Grey Watcher search of the area, looking for like even like ectoplasmal residue of summoning.
Okay, I will let your intelligence check from your previous investigation carry over because you're technically investigating the same thing. There are spots on the ground you can see from where the shadow men were vanquished and disappeared. It looks kind of like an optical illusion. Like there's this thin film of darkness on the stones. You try and touch it and it doesn't feel like anything. It's like kind of like a scorch mark, but oddly translucent.
I'm gonna take out the Grey Watcher sword. And I'm going to place it on the shadow, and then I'm going to speak some words in like Elven or Sylvan or something, and the blade will light up purple flames as I'm going to try and see if that affects the shadow on the ground. So just...
it burns it away a little bit.
Interesting. I'm going to try and scoop some up into like a container or something, see if I can do that.
What kind of blade are you using?
I'm using my Watcher blade, so like
the Watchman's blade. Okay. Yeah. You take a little bit of the street with you. A little bit of stone goes with the sample, but you manage to get a little bit. Get it into a vial and cork it.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't able to do that, the next step was to like get a mason over here and just get this brick out of here and bring it back with me. All right, now I'll go rejoin my friends. Now that I got like some physical evidence and some stuff to bring to a forensic lab, we're good to go now.
The film, it doesn't act like dust when you scrape it. It acts more liquid.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming this is a liquid-like substance.
Mhm.
Almost. Is it like a
almost gaseous but very heavy?
Okay, so it's like kind of like more like molasses, less like water. Syrup.
Have you ever been to a science museum with like those cloud bowls?
Yes.
It's like that kind of.
Okay, so like water vapor a bit. Okay.
Sort of, but heavier.
Okay, I'll start heading back to my friend.
Okay, it's easy to get back to Penrose Manor. Took me a second.
See how it is.
It's been a while. Your friends aren't there. They're probably still going through checkpoints at the party, trying to get out, but it's not too long until they arrive.
And I'll just kind of be sitting, messing around with my Watcher's sword, you know, flame on, flame off, flame on, flame off, you know, kind of like the kid who's like, you know, oh, this is the toy I haven't played with in a while. Just
Okay, unless you guys want to do something or have any conversations, we'll fast forward to the end of where we left off last session, which was shortly after our group of 4 getting back from chatting with Magnus Dent.
Yeah, sure. Works for me.
I'm okay with that.
Eglantine, you have just left the library after having a chat with your brother. I believe Bellinor just spoke with Eglantine's father. Didn't go especially well. What's everyone else up to in this moment? It's getting late.
About that. I think Eglantine was actually also showing. Was I showing Kieran like the library too? I think that was how I wound up there talking to Paul, wasn't it?
You can be.
I believe so.
I just remember we had talked about like that was their thing, so I don't know if that ended up happening or not.
Yeah,
I have no idea where in the house I was, but I'm gonna say I am looking at some of the tapestries they have on the wall, seeing what I can make.
Tapestries? Okay. It's a bunch of historical scenes. A lot are from the War for Esmayar. It's a very popular time in history to be depicted. It's achieved almost mythical proportions, largely because actual gods and monsters and demons and such were involved in the conflict. Some of it is just historical figures from most of it revolve earlier point in history.
Alright, just basic rich
Are
people
you
shit.
trying to learn anything from the tapestries, or you're just wandering?
Yeah. Just kind of wondering.
I cut out. Could you repeat that?
No, I'm just kind of wondering.
Okay. They're pretty. They're well made. They're all high quality and probably expensive. I say probably. They're definitely very expensive.
But you know what? I'm not going to steal them. You know why? Because I'm not a thief.
It's true. You're not.
Miss Eglantine, you have quite the collection of books here. It is this room was built expressly for this purpose.
Oh yeah, I mean these aren't like, my personal collection or anything like that. I do have a couple of my own bookcases in my room, but these are, mostly from my dad's or things that were handed down, through the family and stuff. The really old things are actually locked in that cabinet. I can't even open it.
Oh, is it perhaps stuck? Do you want me to try to use my
Oh.
skill, I can get it open.
No, it's just like really old books that my dads don't like people touching because if they get ruined, it's like all the value is gone and stuff. I've seen them before. They're somebody like folded down the corners. It was terrible, but I'd be glad to show you some of my favorites sometime if you like. But really, help yourself.
He's still kind of like just clutching his the one book he has that's on his side, and he's kind of like looking around. He's like, I do not recognize any of these. Back at the temple to Anhira, we only had we had maybe 4, maybe 5 books in a sack to the corner. I did not realize that people had entire rooms dedicated to books and such.
Oh, they certainly do. I mean, there's entire buildings that are dedicated to books. Oh, that's right. You missed our trip to the library earlier. Oh, maybe we'll be able to take some time to go back sometime. Oh, I really wanted to leave town tomorrow to look for father, but I've never said this before, but I guess the library can temporarily wait. I mean, this one is pretty good for a first library experience, I think. I mean, it was my first one. I see you like a religious text, so here's like one that's like an overview for a bunch of different gods and goddesses, and here's one about the spirits. Here's one all about Kaluri. That's who I like to follow. So don't feel like you have to read that one, but if you were to read any of these, that would be the one I would recommend.
I just feel like Eglantine's just tossing books at him, and
Yes.
he's just kind of like got this stack that's just
It's
kind of going
rapidly like cartoon style growing until you're just kind of gone behind it.
Well, I will peruse these. He just kind of like sets them down, and it probably is about close to his height, just a stack. And he just grabs like the first 2 that she gave him and like puts them in his pack. He's like, I will borrow these, and I will peruse them. Perhaps when we are on the road to finding your father.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely feel free to take these. They're ours, so it's not like, one of the regular libraries where you need like a card or anything like that, And if you have any questions, that way I'll be able to help you,
Yes, I'm interested in reading these. I have read the books back at the temple perhaps 300-400 times each. I exaggerate, but perhaps only a little bit. This one, he kind of pats the one on the side. This one is my favorite. It is the one my mother used to read to me when I was small, if you could ever imagine me being small.
My head is craning up towards you. And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess we were all small at some point. Although I have a feeling when you were small, you were probably still almost bigger than I am now.
It was a long time ago, but you are probably right. Should we perhaps find the rest of our friends?
That's probably a good idea. I would hate if, Bellinor destroyed any more of Charles's shirts. And I just sort of laugh to myself and I'll lead the way out.
That sounds like a story that I need to hear sometime.
Note you met Bellinor with torn off sleeves of a tuxedo.
Okay.
Classic. So I guess we'll head out of the library and just try to check on the others before the evening, and we leave, I don't know, till morning.
If you guys are hungry, there is dinner waiting in the dining room. I figure all of you will eventually find your way there at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Any chats we want to have, things we want to do before the next morning?
Is Eglantine's dad like eating with us, or is he off sort of distraught doing his own thing right now?
He is still in his office.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think then Eglantine is actually, for once, remarkably quiet during a meal while we're eating. Just sort of in her own head, too.
I think I'm going to kind of share a little bit about what Flora and I discussed, kind of like some of those theories I was putting forward before about like how it could have been done, who could have did it, the efforts being made to help track stuff down, and then also sharing how it's kind of up to us because there's political hands being tied. And then I'll also bust out the vial with
The moment you bust it out, Giles grabs it.
What? No.
You're both welcome to make speed checks to see who can snatch the vial.
I would love to.
I would love to. I'm fast. I'm Sanic.
I'm speedy. Oh, but I'm bad at rolling though. 13.
19.
Okay, Giles darts out a hand to grab it, but Gabriel's too fast, snatches it out of his range.
Okay, careful there. This isn't like just your everyday vial of acid that you can just throw around and hope for the best. This is evidence and might be useful in helping us discover. This is from those shadows that attacked us like a few days ago.
First off, I threw away my vials of acid after the events at the party, and also because we switched systems, but that's not important. Second off, and I take out my toolbox and I'm like, I think I might be able to test it and try to figure something out about it. You know, just kind of its nature, stuff like that.
All right. I'm happy to let you make some magical tests. I was actually hoping you could do that, you and Eglin team. I will handle the materials, though.
I narrow my eyes and start taking out some Bunsen burners and stuff like that.
And he gets out a clipboard, writes down a chain of custody. He like starts beginning a chain of custody form and has like you sign off on it.
I straight up go CSI and I'm like pulling out just fantasy x-rays and stuff like that.
Yes, just all the fantasy machinery, right?
Yeah, all that fantasy machinery that we know and love.
You probably got like a little, like one of those like Tesla. You just got like Tesla cords set up, the Tesla coils set up all over
they
the
don't do
dining
anything,
room.
but they help me think.
They power the devices.
He puts
Uh-oh.
The voice in the sky has disappeared. I'm God now.
Screenshot it.
Screenshot. Haha. Payback for all those times.
Sweet revenge.
Sweet revenge. All right, for chat who does not okay, I feel like, Sam, we need to explain this for chat a little bit. So back in the day, your boy would always freeze on mid-screen, and the joke was I would always be in like the most awkward or funny pose, and they would grab screenshots and make memes of it. So this is like sweet like payback for me now.
Except Lucy's just in a totally normal pose.
I know. Not fair. Wait, are you two on the same network?
We are on the same network.
You're just stealing it all. I see.
You're just hogging the bandwidth, Harry.
The internet.
That's what
Damn
my
it,
dad
Harry.
said. My dad would be like, "You're hogging all the bandwidth." That's not how it works, Dad.
Small character, giant bandwidth needs.
Hey, look. Power of those devices requires a lot of juice.
Okay, what are you trying to figure out about your shadow residue?
First of all, next time you freeze, can you make a funnier pose? Second of all, I want to kind of get origin, other property, helpful properties, anything that might help us fight these things, weaknesses, strengths, blah, blah, blah.
And you're trying to do this with just the tech gear, or are you enlisting some magical assistance?
I mean, I assumed that the tech gear was also magical in nature, being that it is operated by one and only Giles. Pip and Papa.
Well, I didn't take a level in mage when we switched systems.
No?
Nope.
I'm not a mage. I was never a mage. I specifically do not magic. That my entire character is based around that fact.
I do not magic.
I do not magic. Damn, you felt pretty magical.
I believe he took the Mechanist class.
Yeah, I am Mechanist. But I have a toolbox, and I'll try to get Eglantine to help me do some magic with it.
Okay. Harry, roll intelligence. Sam, roll your magical stat. I believe it should be perseverance.
I rolled a 6, so 10.
Perseverance. Okay. Shoot, where is that on the thing? That's a 17.
I am bad at thinking, apparently.
You don't magic, you don't
What's
do
the
the thoughts.
I don't magic, I don't think, I don't speed, I just...
What's the number?
10.
10. Okay. It's not a liquid. Exactly. It reacts to electricity somewhat. It's weird. It's hard to touch. It's I mean, it is like trying to grasp vapor. You can feel it. It's slightly cool against your fingers, almost like when you take your hand away, it should be damp, but it's not. It's completely dry. As for Eglantine, it is definitely dark magic, and it is extraplanar in origin, and it's powerful. It's not something you could do, and I don't think you would know anybody who could replicate this particular substance. It is completely saturated with a mixture of dark and ally class magic, so it is a summoning and some kind of death magic.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
So she
Rad.
said all magical shit, and I say all my science shit, and we're still no closer to figuring out who these shits are.
Pretty much all we know is that this stuff super sucks and we're fucked.
Yeah.
That's my my high intelligence takeaway from this. My +4.
Aha! There are some stones in here. They must have had kidney stones when they fought us, and then when they teleported away, these were left behind. So now, if we just make them eat highly metallic foods for long enough, they'll be in debilitating pain.
I pull my sword out. Yeah, I think this is metallic enough.
I mean, that would be a lot quicker, I suppose. But whoever, I guess created this they've got to be really powerful. And into some really dark magic. Like, I don't know how to do anything like this. I don't even know where I would go to try to learn or figure it out, who I would ask.
Never mind.
I feel like I'll regret this, but are you sure?
I know a guy. I don't know if I could get in touch with them.
You know somebody who practices,
Who?
like, dark magic?
They did a bit of dabbling. Got me in a lot of trouble. They're kind of a show-off, mostly.
Who?
The one person, Lucy.
The one person?
The one person?
Grim.
Oh. Yeah, he's not a dark caster. What?
Yeah, but he's a fucking show-off.
That's true.
I mean, is this somebody you think would maybe know someone more powerful, I guess? Or is this somebody you think could actually summon these kinds of things?
I know they could try to summon them. No.
I mean, we can all try to do lots of things.
They'd probably have to talk to someone more powerful.
Okay. All right, well, I don't have any other ideas.
Before we do this, we've been looking for these guys all day. This is the last thing I can think of. If anybody else has any other ideas, I would much prefer literally anything. Like, is there a dungeon that we can fight? Is there, like, I don't know, can we get locked in prison for a year and, like...
Well, I need to find, my father, so, no?
Okay, but how much do you care about your father, though?
A lot. Do you not like your parents, or?
Listen, this isn't about that. What we need... find. Do you have any communication magic?
Me? Oh, I mean, I can't do anything like that. I don't think.
Anything around the house?
What do you mean, like to try to reach who? Oh, I don't know, your dark magic friend?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have anything. I guess Dad might. I don't know. I guess Lucy, do we have like, I don't know, a household telegraph magic stone or something? Magic communication device. Oh no, did we lose her again?
Oh. She's not even in a funny pose. Ugh.
Oh. I miss the Borks.
The Borks.
Yes, we unfortunately have dogs, and they don't like the sound of silence.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
They're wonderful, and I love them.
They are wonderful, but they're also loud.
Hey, Chris, want to take us to break while we wait for Lucy's internet to like fix itself?
Wait.
Oh, she's back.
Are you back?
I'm back. I'm very annoyed. Yes, you would have a fantasy cell phone.
Fantasy cell phone.
I was going to say like a telephone.
Yeah,
right? I'm picturing like a fantasy version of like one of the old school two-piece, you know, like Delios. Oh no!
I just imagine it's like one of those rotary phones, but it's a rune instead of numbers.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to break.
You just
We'll see you
twist
all
the pentagram.
soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
I'll be right back.
And we're back.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. Our router is reset, so hopefully it will not happen again. Real quick, before we get into the second half of this session, some quick trigger warnings for everybody. Kidnapping, human sacrifice, murder, blood, general violence, and religious fanaticism. I think that's all of them. So if those are not good for you, don't watch this. We want everybody to be safe and comfortable in our game. There'll be a recap later that will skim over the details if you need it. But if you can't watch that, please, please, please look out for your mental health. All right, and with that, we will jump back in. We were looking for the fantasy cell phone, I believe.
Yes, we were looking for the fantasy cell phone. Fantasy cell phone.
Nice.
All right. There is a communications room in Penrose Manor. It's on the second floor. Eglantine would know where it is. When you step inside, it looks a bit like a teleportation room, a little bit smaller. It has the same kind of rings of symbols and magical focusing devices and such scattered around the place. It looks a bit like one of those rooms on a game show where people are pulled aside to do their interview. So you're attempting to contact Grim, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think we've discussed this. What kind of caster is Grim?
So I haven't put that much thought into it because I know could probably kick my ass in anything, but I think most likely what happened was probably because he was a summoning caster or like what's it called?
Ally?
Ally caster, yes.
Okay.
So since it is ally magic, he might want to help out.
That's true. So for those of you who don't know, ally magic is magic that involves summoning, conjuring, binding, and protection. So you guys file into the communications room, boot it up. Do you have anything of your brother's to focus the spell?
Pip.
You have Pip? Okay. Yeah, that'll work perfectly as a focusing piece. You put it on a little shelf. There's a shallow bowl there used for putting the focusing components of the spell. Eglantine, you would know the incantation for this. It will take 1 cast point to cast the spell.
All right.
But you don't have to roll for it. It's pretty basic magic.
Okay.
It takes a minute, and then a shimmering figure, Star Wars hologram style, but not blue, in full color, appears in front of you. It is Grim. Do you want to give us a quick description of what Grim looks like?
Yeah, so Grim, there's a noticeable resemblance in the freckles and the hair color, but whereas my hair is like kind of wild and crazy, his is a lot more tame. It's still puffy, but a bit more tame. And he's very thin with very like sharp features, and he has bright blue eyes. I think most likely he's probably wearing his school robes, which are, I believe, gold. Isn't that the color scheme, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know if we've actually talked about
I don't think we'd come up with one. We'll say they're gray and gold, and there is a emblem on the front.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that a good enough description?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so that is...
Giles? What's going on? What?
Hey, Grim. How are you?
Giles, what's this about?
Okay, so I was soul searching, and I decided to the other side of the world. I'm sure you know by now, and
Yeah, Mom and Dad are pissed.
yep. I made some friends, but one of them had their dad stolen. Was it
Wait.
your dad or your father? I can't remember.
That was my father.
Their father stolen. You're involved in a kidnapping?
I loosely, I was in the general vicinity of where it happened.
To be quite honest, he is not a thief, so he had nothing to do with it.
He knows I'm not. I have done no thievery.
For the moon's sake, Giles! After what happened, do you think you would learn to be more careful by now?
I was careful. I went to a party. And some people were kidnapped by other shadowy people.
Wait, shadowy people?
Yeah, they're like summoned people. I thought you would know something.
Shadow men?
Yeah.
You saw shadow men. And you're alive?
Well, yeah, pretty. Very briefly.
Hold on. Hold on. He vanishes for a few minutes. You stand and wait in awkward silence for a while. And then he reappears, and he has with him. It is a tall, as soon as I find her description. So it's a tall, slender, elven woman. She's very old, because you can see that her face is lined and creased with age, which it takes a long time to happen to an elf. Her hair is very long and silver, braided down her back. She's wearing these rich, shimmering robes with a silk circlet in her hair, and her eyes are bright and hazel, and she's watching you very intently. She's a little bit intimidating, even through this long distance call. And she's a very stern expression. My student has told me that you have encountered Shadow Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please tell me exactly what you saw.
Okay, but Grim, you're not allowed to freak out. So, me and a couple of friends I met, say hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey, how you
Hello.
doing?
Hello.
Yeah, so me and a couple of friends wanted to go to a party to see some of their friends. When we went to the city through a teleportation circle, we headed outside, and there some shadow men attacked some shadow men attacked Gabriel. But luckily I'm fine. Everything's fine. They weren't able to actually do much.
This Gabriel, he survived.
Yes, Gabriel survived.
Right here.
Some minor brain damage, but I think that was
The intent of the attack, did it seem to kill or to capture?
I mean, they seemed fairly violent, seemed pretty kill-like, but then also
Oh no!
I think we lost them both now.
Oh no!
You know, I still think it's me every time. I don't know why.
Aww. Oh no, we lost the fantasy cell phone call. You know, they were going through a tunnel.
Freaking fantasy Verizon, I swear to
The
God.
party. We thought that. Well, we didn't think. Is she gone again?
We lost both of you. If you can hear us.
We're
no.
sorry. That number you are trying to contact has been disconnected.
Hello? No.
Oh no.
I don't know. I don't know.
We
I don't
reset our
know.
internet. It's not normally like this.
Just continue.
Yeah, that was our first encounter, and then we went to the party, and it was big and fancy, and they killed some caramel birds, and it was all creepy. Anyway, so they were giving some speech or something. They were on the balcony. I don't know. It was 2 months ago, and the came back again. Except they didn't really give us a lot of time to react. We were kind of on the ground floor, and they were like upstairs, and so they captured a bunch of people, including 2 of my friends' dads, and then one of my friends got a note and they had to leave. It was weird. So yeah, got a quick fix?
There is no quick fix for Shadow Man.
Kind of thought you would say that.
Gabriel, is your surname?
Moon Shadow.
Moonshadow.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Moonshadow, I recommend you watch your steps very carefully. If the Shadow Men are after your blood, they will not stop until you have stopped them.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've had things from another world chase me for my blood. I'll be okay, but thanks for the concern.
It isn't?
I'm a Grey Watcher. Of course not.
Well, I recommend you send word to Salnora.
Oh, yeah, already get taken care of. I turn around to Balinor. Remind me to do that later.
I think you are asking the wrong person.
No, I'm asking the right person here.
The Shadow Men, who did they take?
The 3 people who you told me earlier that I can't remember. Viva Lati's mother, one of Eglantine's fathers, and...
Daya, Azalea, and Dora.
Yes. I believe it was the not grumpy one who got captured. We're stuck with the grumpy dad.
No, it was the grumpy
Other way.
one who got captured. So
Oh, okay.
Cornelius.
So are
Not
you
as much of a
really sure
loss,
you
then.
want to save him?
Yeah, we don't even have cool dad.
Oh, shh.
What? No, yes, I want to save my father.
Can you think of any reason someone would summon a Shadow Man to go after you?
Well, to be fair, Cornelius is a bit of a dick.
Okay, you know.
I meant yourself, Mr. Moonshadow. People of such power and influence
well,
as those you
Gabriel
have
Speaking
named.
of, then.
Well, let's see. I've killed some, gotten into contact and conflict with powerful tricksters. There was that siren lady we fought.
Siren.
Yeah.
Siren?
Didn't really want to talk about that. Yeah. We also a magic thing named Serena.
Wait, you did what?
Yeah, we killed her.
Don't tell Mom and Dad.
Giles! Grim,
Mom
please.
and Dad.
This, Serena, you say you killed her? So it could not have been her who summoned the Shadow Man.
No, but perhaps, does she got a lot of friends?
Yeah, she said she was the disciple of a god. So
The disciple of a god.
Yeah, some god of, the depths and sea and...
poisonous snakes.
Oh,
Bless you.
the goddess Alb. The mother of monsters.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Mama Monster.
Right, with watch your words. The goddess that takes disrespect.
Eh.
So, not her, potentially an ally. Do you know if she has any?
Perhaps there's a cult. Old dead gods
A
tend to
cult.
attract those.
Potentially. Well, I am afraid that there is no way to shake a Shadow Man once it has it, except to either dispel the spell that first brought them here, or to kill the one who cast it.
Look towards Eggy.
I mean, we don't know anything about whoever cast it, but I mean, I don't know. I'm admittedly a little less concerned about dispelling them as I am just tracking down and finding my father.
A
I got it.
reasonable concern.
Can we just point out the odd timing of when Kieran showed up? Kieran
I
already was
mean,
5.
at a party with lots of other people also at the party, which I imagine is why the attack happened.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, and no offense to Kieran, but he's kind of soft.
Well,
This
that's
is
just because
true,
he's
my-
fluffy.
My fur is very pleasing to the touch.
Yeah, he's way too calm to be someone who summons shadows. Way too laid back.
I prefer the sun anyway.
Well, I don't know. I'll just sort of. I'll look to, I guess, Grim and the elf. I'm blanking on the name already.
She
just
hasn't
like,
introduced herself yet.
Okay. I'll be like, I'm sorry. It seems like maybe you're very, knowledgeable in magic and stuff. Do you have any idea, who might be able to cast something powerful like this? I imagine that the list must be very short.
It is not a long one, that is true, and most of them have been a student of mine at some time or another. Well, I mean, I could perhaps list 20, 25 magic users who might be capable of such a spell.
I mean, I think any sort of help, could be very beneficial. I mean, if you have the time, of course. I'm so sorry you say students. Are you a professor at the academy?
I am the headmistress of the academy.
Oh my goodness, I've never had the pleasure to meet you. My sister is a student. There,
You are at
Kerrigan
Penrose.
Penrose. Yes, hi, hello.
I recognize the family resemblance. She is a gifted student. It's good to meet you.
I'm sure she is. It is wonderful to meet you too. And I do like a really awkward curtsy.
She does a significantly more graceful one back.
It's just awkward because Eglantine is clearly like nervous now that she realizes who she's been speaking to.
Yeah, if you look at Giles, he is very much hiding in his nerves or not necessarily nerves, but some strong emotion at seeing the headmaster of the academy.
And you would know that his name is Mahara Mayoria.
Mahara Mayoria. Okay. I'll just sort of add, hi, I know, Kerrigan's not really an active student there right now these days, all the time, but I don't think she's actually been informed, that father's gone missing, so, if she happens to be on campus and you, have the time, perhaps, hearing it from somebody of, your esteem would be a little bit comforting.
I will see that she is informed.
Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. I would recommend haste. Anyone ruthless enough to summon shadow men is unlikely to keep their hostages alive past their strict usefulness.
Okay. Thank you.
I do not wish to alarm you, but I thought it best if you know the reality of the situation. It takes a cold heart to execute the kind of magic needed to summon such a creature.
Okay, well, then we do need to move quickly.
I wish I could be more help. I can compile that list of casters and see that it is brought to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe we'll be able to find some connection that way.
Best of luck. I will do some research on this end. I do not like this whispers of Alb and Shadowman. It does not bode well. She nods you all, steps out of the spell, and walks away. Grim watches her go for a second and then wheels around. Giles, what are you thinking?
It wasn't like on purpose. We walked outside. We walked outside and they were there.
But you killed a siren? And now you're involved in shadow men? Giles, I don't like this.
This isn't like last time. I have people with me. We're working together. We're not doing anything. I'm just taking some odd jobs. You know, I'm using some of my expertise.
Oh, your expertise? Do you remember what happened? You tried to use your expertise last?
This is different. It's not dangerous except for the vials of acid I carry in my pockets, but I got rid of those.
What? Meddling with creatures from another world, Giles. You thought you would have learned your lesson.
Okay. I just kind of, literally and metaphorically, I just kind of feel like this is something I kind of have to do. I mean, I literally got a note telling me to come down here.
From who? Giles, you have powerful enemies. You can't trust things like that.
You have powerful enemies. Listen, I promise I'm being safe. Just don't tell Mom and Dad. I don't want them to worry.
Fine. I won't tell them. But Giles, I swear to the gods, you better come home. I don't like this.
I will. And plus, you know what? You gave me an eye. You're keeping me safe. You're helping me out here. I'm not doing this alone. No, I mean, never mind. Just thanks for your help. And I hang up.
He opens his mouth, the image cuts out, and he's gone.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Speaking with my brother's always a treat.
I can sympathize.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess let's take a look at the list or something.
Yeah, once we get it, maybe we'll be able to, I don't know, find some connection with Father and someone on it, or at least somebody in range of being able to get shadow people summoned nearby. I imagine there's got to be some limitations.
Yeah,
And
bound
then-
creatures can't normally move very far.
Lucy, I don't remember. I remember that, you know, I know we had gotten word of, like, I guess some sort of, like, shadow activity towards the south. I don't remember who told us that, though. Was that Tam?
No, that was Magnus Dent, I believe.
Right. Okay.
But you've been hearing from various sources that there's weird things happening in the world at the moment.
All right. Like, well, I mean, I guess Magnus mentioned there was a lot of sort of shadowy activity to the south, so maybe when we get that list, we can find one of those students either down there or there recently, maybe, and we could start there. I don't know. Any better ideas? I'm certainly open to them. I've never had to do something like this.
Are we sure Academy students are the only ones that are capable of something like this?
I mean, certainly not necessarily, you know, current students, but at least as far as I know, that's where pretty much anybody who knows how to do powerful casting goes to learn. You know, unless it's like a holy or spiritual magic, like the kind of thing I do, and then you learn from, you know, priests or family members who can do it and stuff like that. So, but
and he'd make an intelligence check.
ooh, Oh, butts. 12.
There are sects of people out there that don't send their children to the academy, or it is possible there are people who just don't have the connections to get there and make contact, regardless of how powerful a spellcaster they might be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. I mean, it's not definite that that's where, this person is from, but I guess for the most part, for formal training, that's the place to go, at least.
I guess if you're kind of a rich asshole, that's probably going to be where you check first.
I mean, not gonna lie, yeah.
All right, well, it's a good starting point.
I mean, I don't know. I guess that would certainly be an easy way, too, for someone to have a connection to father, We've been sending family members to the academy for generations.
Yeah, you said this was, what, a gap year for you?
A gap year? Oh, well, I mean, I never went to the academy. Like I said, I don't do that kind of magic. I was taught here. But I did finish, all of my formal schooling. So I was taking a year off before I have to go get into the, family business, so to speak.
Yes.
So we should get going soon once we get that list.
Yes, let's leave and never talk about the academy again.
I would like to get moving as soon as possible, quite frankly. We're on the losing end of this whole race right now, and the longer we delay, the further they get.
Hey.
Well, once we get the list, we head out, I guess. It shouldn't take too long, I imagine. We can pack up.
I will get you that list at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I figure just narrative purpose for now, so.
You mean you don't already have a 25-member list from the random person that I decided to contact?
How dare. But like pretty much unless somebody, I guess, has something they want to do in the meantime, I'm fine just being like, time passes and we get the list and head south, I guess, still.
Yeah, you're welcome to do that.
I don't
Heading
know.
towards that temple, I think. I think that was the plan.
Right.
So you don't have exact coordinates of where the temple might be. You have a general idea of quite a large area where it maybe might have once been, maybe.
Okay. Well, that's good enough for me for now.
I'll take that challenge.
Right. I'm sure we'll be able to find some more information once we get closer.
So I'm good with going on.
Yeah.
All right, let's move out.
Oh no, did we lose Lucy?
Yeah,
No, she's moving.
Hello. Okay. You were definitely froze for a sec there.
Yes, I was, but I'm back now.
Hooray.
Okay, so what do? We rent horses and just buy a compass, and when it points south?
I think so.
I feel like the Penroses would probably have some horses we could take.
Yeah, I would imagine. We're on a rich person's estate. We could probably ride whatever. We could probably ride whatever dang animal we want out of town.
Can we get hippogriffs?
A horse of gold.
Yes, they have some horses you can take.
But no hippogriffs?
No hippogriffs. Sorry.
What sort of rich family?
they're all south for the season.
Well, we can head down, take them on the way back.
There we go. We'll get them on their next migratory path. All right, yeah. So I guess
yeah,
I'm
we're
fine to
going
head
to-
south.
Yep.
Okay, so you get an appropriate number of horses for your group, mount up, and start heading south. Are you aiming for anywhere in particular, or what's the plan here?
Just the general area of where we feel like the temple might have been.
Yeah, I think-
Southwardly, okay?
I think pretty much the plan is to head southwardly and try to find like word of mouth as we go, to like zero in on, hey, you seen any weird shadow magic or heard about it or something like that.
Okay, there are not a ton of settlements south of, in the near south of Salvani. I have to pull up the map. Hold on, please.
Yeah, I imagine we've probably got at least a bit of travel.
There's
But-
like one or two tiny villages on your way, but there's a gap around Salvani where there's not a whole lot of stuff. So north until you hit the low hills, and south until you hitting the curve of the forest, which is about 2 or 3 weeks ride south, and then some smaller fishing villages start cropping up on the coast. So how far south are you going?
I think we heard it was. I would think we want to head south until we hit any kind of coast. I don't have the map in front of me.
Okay, Silvani's kind of on a part of the continent that sticks out a little bit. So directly down is only a couple of days until you hit a beach.
I mean, we could search for the temple on the coast or a little inland, and also have a beach episode at the same time. So, I'd be down for that pseudo beach episode.
Okay, so are you just asking around for people who might have know where the temple is?
I mean, I don't think the specifically being like, do you know where this ancient forgotten temple is? But if we I don't know, my guess at least is we had, we got the word of mouth all the way up in Savani that there was wild dark magic shit happening in that direction. So there must be other people, who know it would also. So Eglantine's got no better leads than that. Again, I'm open to suggestions.
I don't know. Maybe we could just look around in another library, continue our library adventures.
Up from library to library across the continent.
I mean, that was her original life plan.
I mean, I would just say whatever gets us answers, go there first, wherever that would be.
Kieran, you mentioned what did you mention? It was the thing that sparked a thought in my brain. Are you trying to appeal for any kind of divine guidance?
I mean, anytime he's in direct sunlight, he's offering up prayers pretty much. Not on a constant basis, because that would be a lot. But, anytime he steps into the sun for the first time, he does.
I will say you can appeal to your deity for assistance. Depending on how many spells you use, or spell slots, wrong game, casting power you use, your hint or clue will be stronger or weaker.
Okay, how many do I have again?
Those cat sounds are just amazing. Ah,
He's mad.
Cat!
love
Feed
me.
your cat.
Stream cat.
Cat can.
Lucy, how do I I'm sorry, how do I know how many castings I have again?
One moment, please. Let me check the rules.
As many
You have
spells Yeah,
Your
I
mage
have it
level
up.
+2, so you should have 6.
6. Okay, I will use 4 of 6.
4 of 6. Okay. Roll perseverance.
Perseverance. Okay, let's see. Boop. Okay. Sure. Perseverance with a natural 20, that is a 23.
Okay, you have a medallion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You step into the sunlight. You finally escape from the oppressive cloud cover of Sylvani, and you feel bright, pure sunlight for the first time in days, and it is wonderful. And you pull out your amulet to give thanks to Anira for guiding you, and ask her for help in your quest, because shadow men are the antithesis of the light and order that she stands for. And you hold your pendant in one hand, you close your eyes, and you feel a slight warmth, almost not quite a tingling, like a tightness in the tips of your fingers, like you're holding them just a little to a fire. And when you look at your amulet, a shaft of sunlight has caught on one corner of it to the south. And when you turn your amulet or tilt it, that same shaft of sunlight remains right where it was, sliding along the rim of your amulet.
My friends, this seems important to me. I feel that in here is giving us a way to go.
He kind of presents his amulet and shows them how it's pointing in the same direction no matter what.
And it would make sense to me that the goddess of sunlight would perhaps not care too much for these shadow people.
To be honest, that doesn't sound great to me, but I guess it's better than throwing a dart at a map.
Look, I'll take just about anything right now. Go for it.
I mean, who am I to, say that that's not how, the correct way to interpret your goddess's words. So that seems like as good of a lead as any I've got, at least. Let's give it a try.
Okay, if the entire party is okay with that, he will start to lead the way.
Okay, you follow this gleam on the edge of your amulet. You have to stop whenever the sun starts to go down, so it takes a little bit longer than you'd probably like, because it needs sunlight to function. It takes you about 6 days south, a few miles from the coast. You can't quite see the ocean, but you know it's there. There's a certain salt tang in the air that tells you you're still close enough that you can feel its presence. You're further from the Tlende Forest than you probably thought you might be, considering the unusual activity of otherworld creatures. And on the 6th day, about 2 hours after dawn, you crest the hill, and the light on the amulet winks out.
That is disconcerting. He's gonna shake it a few times just to make sure that it's done.
Nothing happens.
Can we see anything?
The Rosafar has been pretty flat. This part of Asamayara usually is. There is a low hill right in front of you. I know there's a region called the Low Hills. This is not part of that. It's just a slight slope. Barely noticeable unless you're really paying attention. And right in the middle of the slope is a very large, very old tree.
Does the tree seem out of place? Or
Make an intelligence check.
+0. 19. Okay.
Okay. Typically, kinds of trees that grow around here are deciduous. It's oak trees or some kind of fruit tree or things like that. This tree, it looks like a yew tree, which is a bit weird for this part of the coast.
He's gonna kind of walk over to it and kind of like put his hand on it, press on it, see if it moves at all. He's gonna kind of circle it a bit.
It doesn't move. The bark is a little bit cool to the touch, but it's a tree.
As he does this, I look at Eggy and I go, "Hey, we've only known this guy for a couple of days. Are we sure he's all the way there?"
Kieran, while they're whispering rude things behind your back, make a perseverance check.
Alrighty.
To persevere through my bullying.
I mean, I have only known you for like a week, so
17.
As soon as you step out of the sunlight and into the shadow of the yew tree, you feel very cold. And it feels like you've been in Salvani for days. You haven't seen proper sunlight in a long time.
That is not something I enjoy.
He's gonna kind of push himself away from the tree.
As soon as you step back into the sunlight, the feeling's gone. It's perfectly normal.
That is very strange. Perhaps I could have another set of. Perhaps I can have some help here. Can someone step into this shadow and tell me what they feel? Because it seems unnatural to me.
ah shit, I'll give it a go. I'll step into the shadow.
Make a perseverance check.
Natural 20, 23.
Y'all are taking all the good rolls.
You feel a little bit chilly, and you feel like you actually see Moraine flicker into vision. You haven't called it. She materializes in the shadow beside you, and she's frowning. She says, "Did you call me? What is this?"
Did you call me? What is going on?
I don't know.
As I see him talk to himself, I turn to Eggy again and I say, "So did that tree just make people insane?" What?
I mean, clearly there's something just going on with it.
He's talking to himself. That guy's pacing around.
Well, I mean, that's nothing to worry about, I don't think.
I
But,
step
I
out of the
mean-
shadow.
Moraine disappears. You feel fine.
Ah, looks like a tree, team. I say we keep on going.
Are you okay, Beleanor?
Yes. What do you mean?
You were kind of talking to yourself.
Yeah, and you were worried about a tree.
I was never worried about that tree. That tree is nothing. As far as talking to myself, sometimes I just like to be my own hype man. You know, somebody has to.
There is something very strange about this tree. Something unnatural, even. It reminds me of the cold and dour air that was in Silvani.
Could everyone very quickly tell me what their perseverance modifier is?
3.
Oh, is that the PER stat? If so,
Yes, it
that's
is.
1.
1,
That's a 2.
2,
3.
3,
3.
3. Okay, the threes. As you're bickering about this tree, those of you with the 3, that's Eglantine, Beleanor, and Kieran, you hear something behind you. Sounds like footsteps.
Do I see anything if I turn to look?
You turn and look. There is a young woman cresting the hill a few feet away. She has long blonde hair, green eyes. She's very slim and quite tall, dressed in simple black clothes that actually look a bit like Gabriel's uniform.
Does she seem threatening in any way?
Nope, she's just walking towards you.
Oh, hello, can I help you?
Hello. Sorry, are you?
Do we
I'm
hear
sorry?
this?
Say again, Lucy, you cut out.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you lost?
Yes. Sorta.
Pretty
need any
much.
help?
We followed the sparkle of an amulet.
Yes, we are looking for a temple. It is very far away. Do you know where it is?
Temple. What sort of temple?
Can someone with more information please explain?
I don't even remember the temple, honestly. Whose was it again? Like,
You
did we
don't
know?
want to.
Okay.
No, just that it was ordered to be destroyed.
This seems like a job for Kieran.
There was a temple that was supposedly lost time around here, and we are trying to find it. If you have any sort of information, Fräulein, it would be most helpful. Mein Gottes,
Good news,
let
my
us
friend.
hear.
You're
Oh.
standing right on top of it.
That is. I'm sorry, what?
You're standing on top of it. It's right below your feet. It was buried here.
He's gonna use his spear. He's gonna undo his spear and kind of like try to push down into the sand, see how far down it goes.
That's it. This is an insanity tree. It drives people crazy. Everybody stay away from it, or you'll start digging into the ground, speaking to yourself, and pacing. No one should ever pace.
I was already doing most of those things.
No, let's not, get in a tizzy. Let's we do need to figure out, I guess, exactly what's going on though.
Can I have your names?
Oh, that's terribly rude of me. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Eglantine Penrose.
Hi.
Gabe, I'll lean over to Gabriel quick. Do you want to play a funny prank? Watch this. I'm Gabriel. Nice to meet you.
That's not your name.
Ah, shit. She's very intelligent. I'm Bellator.
When
you got
when
me.
she says that, I take my sword out because I'm just like, and how do you know who we are? Sword ignites.
I like names.
Look, the act's cute and all, but really, what's going on here?
I don't know what you're talking about. And we're going to end it there because this is about to get dark.
Sounds fair.
Dark stuff.
Like the Avatar: The Last Airbender face stealer or something.
Co.
Go the face.
All right. I know we're ending it early and we had a lot of tech issues and I'm super sorry about that. But thank you very, very much for joining us for this session. We will see you again next month. It should be quite a session next time. So I hope you guys tune in for that.
We will do another raid also. Thank you so much, Angry Nerd Girl, for the raid. We'll carry on.
Thank you very
we'll forward
much.
that goodwill, so sit tight.
So let's go around signing out. So let's start with Chris.
Hello, everyone. I am Chris. I am one of the admins here. I do a bunch of stuff on the channel. I DM Agora's Bells, most notably, and that is going to be tomorrow evening. That is typically every other Wednesday. Right now, we might be increasing that a little bit more. So be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow night, we are going into the Abyss and Hell and all that good stuff. So there will be content warnings there, too. So anyways, next person. Thank you.
I think Harry would be
Harry's
next.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Okay, so I am a mystery. I am an enigma. I have no social media and I don't really do anything else. But stay tuned because I believe that by next month that will have changed. So, yeah. Just gonna leave that mystery for y'all. Try to figure out what that's about.
All right, next up. I can't see the Twitch layout at the moment, so somebody go.
Next up is Alex.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got it. We're doing the UE. Hi, I'm Alex. You probably know me as Mr. Puddins. That's where you can follow me on the internet, where I talk about role-playing games. I usually run the game Steam Spell, which is industrial fantasy steampunk is what I'm calling it. We're on a bit of a hiatus right now, so keep your eyes open for news about that. And later this month, oh my God, it is already September. Fridays, I've got a new show coming out called Bloody Portrait. Zweihander, Vampires, Renaissance Italy. You know you're going to want to be there. Hang out for more details. Follow us on Twitter. Jump in that Discord. Also, thank you for the raids, Anri and Angry Nerd Girl and I have
Ty and Twilight.
Ty and Twilight. Thank you. I was like, I know it. All right, that's me. Thanks.
Ryan.
Hello, my name is Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Simulacre. I mostly live here right now. I'm I play Kieran Volk here on Elsewhere, and Gray, the current Tiefling Warlock of the Celestial on Steam Spell, though that might change. I just have those two games, but later on in the year, maybe next, I don't know why I looked at a watch. I don't have a watch on. Month or so, I will be on a Monster Hearts 2 game. That should be a lot of fun because that system is a lot of fun. Aside from that, I do a thing called Sims Character Creations, wherein I compose short musical themes for podcasts, TTRPG characters, or whatever you want, really. I'm going to be opening my commissions fairly soon because you always need more money. And that is, if you are interested in that, feel free to shoot me a DM and we can talk about it. And that is me.
Hey everyone, I am Sam. You can find me on Twitter at @TheSamWisest. I'm Samwise_GameG here on Twitch. I'm a disability advocate and a TTRPG streamer. I'm also our accessibility director here. You can see me here. I'll be in Agora's Bells tomorrow night as Blossom. And on Mondays, you can see me here streaming with No Initiative at 6:30 p.m. in our quest game, Quest the Soaring City. I guess real quick, I'll just go through our sponsor spiel since I'm the last admin in the cycle, and then I'll pass it over to Lucy. Please make sure to check out our awesome sponsors, Tabletop Loot. You can enter the code SHIELDMOM for 15% off, and Heartbeat Dice, the code Chromatic for 10% off. And we want to give a special thank you to Roll20 for letting us be in the Roll20 Spotlight program and all of your support. And now I will pass it on to our amazing GM, Lucy. Wait,
Hi,
Lucy.
everyone. I'm Lucy, aka @BluebirdDraws on Twitter. I post a lot of art and I talk about RPGs. I designed the Clockwork cart system that we're playing tonight, and I run it on another game called Clockwork Carts that is a podcast. We will have a new episode soon. Also, and is of Steam Spell and Agora's Bells. I play Cat Steel and Venenwin Lielo in those games. And I am joining a new game very, very soon. Me and my best friend from high school are starting our own gaming channel. It's called Fat Dragon Gaming. And we will be playing a game called The Chaos Complex, which is a Scum and Villainy 5th edition Star Wars-based game set towards the beginning of the Republic. Harry is going to be in it with me. I'm playing a Twilight operative. I'm very excited about it. And we hope to see you there. I will have a date of our premiere. It will be on Twitch sometime soon. And I think that's everything from us. So thank you so much for joining us. Sorry it's a short session. Sorry we missed last month. It's been kind of crazy around here. But we hope to see you next time.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.